Hey, welcome to The Explainer. So right off the bat, I want you to just kind of pause for a second and look at where you're at in life right now. Look, we all hit those moments where things just feel incredibly heavy, right? If you're struggling today, or maybe you're feeling like you're falling behind, like everyone around you is somehow winning while you're just stuck, I want you to know something absolutely crucial. You're not alone. And actually, you might be exactly where greatness is supposed to kick off. Today's Explainer is all about this incredible mindset that took a guy from being completely overlooked to becoming a billionaire. It's all about the sheer, undeniable power of never giving up.
Are you feeling left behind? It's a tough question, isn't it? But if you are, I'm talking directly to you right now. Man, it is so painful to feel like you're just standing still while the whole world is speeding past you. And hey, that feeling, it is totally valid. But the philosophy we're unpacking today promises something pretty wild. That exact feeling of being left behind is literally the fuel you need. It's your starting line. Today we're looking at a guy who has rejected so many times he honestly lost count. Someone who failed so hard people actually laughed in his face. And we'll see how he used that exact pain to build an absolute empire.
Section 1. The Weight of Failure. Let's dive right into the early years and introduce a young boy in China named Jack. Now, his starting point was basically the total opposite of your typical Silicon Valley success story. No wealth, zero powerful family connections, definitely wasn't born with a silver spoon, and he certainly didn't have an off-the-charts genius IQ. By all traditional metrics of the time, he was pretty much considered a nobody.
3. That's the number of times Jack took his country's university entrance exam, which, by the way, is undeniably the most important test in China. It basically dictates your entire future, and failed. He didn't just fail once, or twice, 3 separate times. In a culture where education is literally everything, just imagine the crushing weight of that reality. His parents looking at him with this profound sadness, teachers shaking their heads, neighbors whispering, hey, this kid, he's never going to amount to anything.
30. After he finally managed to graduate, Jack applied for 30 different jobs. And yep, he was rejected from every single one of them. He even applied to KFC. I mean, think about that for a second. Getting hit with a no from a fast food chicken joint when you're just begging for a break. The only job he eventually managed to scrape together was teaching English, making practically zero money. Now, if you or I face that kind of relentless back-to-back rejection, it would be so incredibly easy to just spiral into total despair, right? To just complain about how rigged the game is. But here's where things get really profound. Jack didn't spiral. Instead of throwing in the towel, he asked himself this one massive, life-changing question. What can I learn from this? He never sat around crying, oh, why me? He asked what data he could actually extract from the experience.
Section 2. Pain as your best teacher. We really need to completely overhaul how we look at failures. See, most people mistakenly view failure as a cosmic punishment. They think, oh, I got rejected, the universe is clearly telling me I'm just not cut out for this. So the moment life hits them hard, they crumble. But what if pain isn't a punishment at all?
Look at the difference here. Every single time Jack was told no, he stored that information like absolute gold. Winners see failure as data. They observe, they learn. They take a brutal rejection and go, okay, interesting, this is valuable information. Losers, on the other hand, they see failure as total defeat. They take it incredibly personally. They complain and they just obsess over the negativity.
Which brings us to a really hard truth. Complaining is the luxury of people who give up. So many people today complain about not having enough capital or the right network or supportive parents. But here's the thing. When you complain, you are literally wiring your own brain for negativity. You're shrinking your own opportunities and draining your energy. If you actually want to achieve greatness, complaining is a luxury you absolutely cannot afford.
Section 3. The Power of Persistence. Look, we all love the sexy idea of the overnight success, right? But it's a total myth. Literally every single successful, confident, wealthy winner you see dominating today was once a terrified, heavily rejected failure. The only difference is they just refused to quit after their 10th or 20th or 100th no.
This timeline perfectly illustrates what I'm talking about. Look at Alibaba's rise. People honestly thought Jack Ma was clinically insane for trying to take on giant global tech companies as a former English teacher. In year 1, they are barely surviving, working out of a tiny, cramped apartment, literally being laughed out of the room by investors. Year 2, still struggling hard. Year 3, okay, finally getting a tiny bit of traction. Year 5, just breaking even. It took until year 10 for them to actually dominate the market. It just proves that real, lasting success takes years of unglamorous, behind-the-scenes, relentless persistence.
But here's the kicker. Jack didn't wait until year 10 to celebrate or feel like he was doing the right thing. He just started, and he kept going. And that is the simplest, most powerful directive for you right now. Start now. Most people spend their entire lives waiting, right? Waiting for funding, waiting for confidence, waiting for absolute certainty. Let me save you some time. The perfect moment does not exist. Every single day you wait is a day somebody else is out there building. You've got to realize your biggest competition isn't some other person. It's time. Time isn't waiting for perfect conditions. So start afraid, start uncertain, but just start now.
Section 4. Build quietly, win loudly. All right, so once you do start, how should you operate? We're going to look at a truly critical strategy here. It is all about working in total obscurity rather than constantly fishing for immediate attention or validation from your peers.
The whole philosophy is perfectly summed up in this quote. Don't tell everyone your dreams. Just work on them quietly, and one day your success will speak for itself. Because what do most people do nowadays? They post about their goals, they tweet about them, they get all hyped up on the likes, and then the second reality hits, they quit. Working silently is like a shield. It completely blocks out other people's negativity, their doubts, and their totally unsolicited opinions from killing your vision before it even has a chance to sprout.
It all boils down to this really simple 3-step progression. Step 1, stop talking about your goals. Just stop. Step 2, build quietly in obscurity. Suffer in silence. Fail in private. You honestly don't need anyone's permission or validation to do your thing. And step 3, let your success speak for you. Jack Ma worked on Alibaba in complete obscurity for years. Nobody cared about his weird little internet experiment. But he stuck to these steps, building something so undeniable, so massive that eventually the entire world was literally forced to pay attention.
Section 5. Your struggles aren't punishment. This brings us to a bit of a hard truth. If your life right now is super easy, comfortable, and absolutely no one is doubting you, well, it usually means you aren't actually growing. You're not taking any significant risks. Your current struggles, they are not a sign that your life is falling apart.
We've got to reframe your perspective entirely. From seeing struggle as punishment to seeing it as preparation. When life gets incredibly hard, you aren't being punished by the universe, okay? You are being prepared. Every single failure is basically training you for something way bigger. Every obstacle is just exposing a weak point so you can fix it, and it's building the exact mental toughness you're going to desperately need to handle the massive success headed your way.
Let's use a super vivid metaphor to really lock this concept in. Think about a diamond. A diamond isn't created in some cozy, comfortable, easy environment, right? No way. It is forged under extreme, crushing pressure and unbelievably harsh conditions. You put almost anything else under that kind of pressure, and it shatters. But a diamond doesn't break. It shines. And just like that diamond, the extreme pressure you might be feeling in your life right now, it isn't meant to break you. It is literally meant to make you shine. Section 6. A promise to yourself. All right, this is where the theory absolutely has to become practice. I want you to make a rock-solid, unbreakable commitment right now, in this exact moment, to your future self.
Make these actionable promises today, okay? First, stop complaining immediately. Every second you spend complaining is a second you aren't building. Second, start right now, exactly where you are, using whatever you have. Third, face rejection purely as data. It's your teacher, not your defeat. Fourth, build quietly without needing anyone to clap for you. And lastly, above all else, never give up too early. Push through the pain. And hey, remember, when you do finally make it and hit those massive goals, you have a responsibility to turn around and pull others up with you. Because honestly, that is how we actually change the world.
I want to assure you from the bottom of my heart that your difficult days are not permanent. Today might be brutally hard. Tomorrow might be even worse. But the day after tomorrow, man, that is when the sun rises. Your long-awaited payoff, your massive breakthrough, it could literally be just one day away. If you keep going, the pain fades, but your strength becomes permanent. So I'm going to leave you with one final provocative question to chew on. Will you let your pain destroy you, or will you let it build you? Jack Ma chose to let it build him, weaponizing every single rejection into pure fuel. I challenge you to harness your own failures, answer your future's call, keep your head down, work quietly, trust the process, and never, ever give up. Thanks so much for joining this explainer. Now get out there and keep building.